What it is, guys, it's your Dino. We're back at again with another reaction video, and this one is for the Tokyo Game Show Xbox announcement. Now, if you aren't aware, this is my new channel that I'm doing this on. I've created a second channel. I have my live stream channel, and I have this channel now. So we'll get straight into the content and we'll just talk about what's going on. So the first thing that they showed off was their announcement for the crossover between Party Animals, which is the new game that released yesterday, sorry, where you it's like a fighting arena game where you play different animals and you fight, and they're doing a crossover with Ori, and the two characters that they're bringing in is the little Ori creature and the one that looked after him in the first game. And then the thing they jumped straight into after that was Phoenix Wright. Now, Phoenix Wright was originally on the Nintendo DS, but they're bringing it to Xbox, and it's going to be a trilogy of all of the previous ones. So that's going to be quite kind of interesting if you like those styles of games. I personally don't like the Phoenix Wright games, but I know a couple of people who do. But the fact that they're bringing them to the Xbox shows that they're including the different platforms, and it's going to bring more people to be able to play it, and it's going to be able to be played on phone. It's going to be able to be played on PC and on Xbox using like Game Pass, so you can play it on all different platforms at the same time. So you can do the whole, I'll play it here, then I'll come back and play it there. And it releases on the 26th of September, which will be cool for people that are looking forward to that one. So that's really, really good. And then the next game that they announced, that they showed off, was a game that I've been watching quite closely. This is Pal World. Now, the best way to describe this is Pokemon meets Genshin meets a open world sandboxy kind of thing, because it has quests, it has story, it has 4-player multiplayer. You basically can get these different pals. They're basically like the Pokemon, best way to describe them, and they have different abilities. Some are used to help build your bases and crafting, and you can basically create like a pal sweatshop, and then you'll find pals with guns, as you can see on the screen. There's all these different ones as well. And then there's faction leaders, and they haven't gone too much into depth on the story, but from what I've been keeping up on with the game is that it has a lot of there's a lot to it, and it looks really cool. But they went straight into another announcement after they had Phil Spencer talking and stuff like that, and they announced that there's going to be a Japan based track in Forza Motorsport, and if you do play Forza Motorsport, you will get a Chevrolet Corvette E-Ray for Forza Horizon 5 added to your garage, which is very cool of them. I think that's great. And then after some more talking with announcements from another member of the Xbox team, they went straight into another thing from Atlus. Atlus is the people that make Persona. If you don't know that, they are a part of Sega, and the lead director of the game decided to talk about how what is special about Persona 5 Tactica. And for those who don't know what Tactica is going to be, it's kind of like the Rayman's that Rayman game that they did with Mario crossover, where it's tactical strategy RPG, and I'm really looking forward to it. I definitely will be streaming it on my other channel, where I can do where I do the live streaming, so there will be a link for that when I do it, and I'll probably post it on social media and stuff like that. So follow the social medias to get notified. And I'm really looking forward to it. I think it looks really interesting. I do like the art style, and the fact that they have showed off some of the skill trees that you can get for the different characters like Joker, and they showed off some of the different challenges that will be in the game, like specific puzzles, and like specific, you have to beat all the enemies in one turn kind of thing. And I feel like that's going to be interesting. So it requires you to think about how to approach it, and it's going to be interesting how you approach certain things. And I feel like it's going to be a fun game to stream, and it's going to be something that I'm going to enjoy regardless. So I definitely will. I am definitely looking forward to this one, and this one comes out in November, which is going to be interesting, because November is my birth month. So I'm going to be playing that as well. and there's going to be a lot coming out. It comes out 2 days after my birthday, so that's going to be interesting. And I'm going to be playing it, and it's going to be on day one on Game Pass, which is awesome. So if you do have Game Pass, a lot of the stuff that they announced is either coming to Xbox or it's going to be on Game Pass, which is really cool. And I do like the fact that they are focusing on the fact that they are trying to bring as much as they can to Game Pass to allow gamers to play. And then, as you know, I'm a big Square Enix fan. The fact that they are now working with Square Enix and they're able to show off that there's going to be new stuff coming. They have showed off the new Dragon Quest game, which is DAI, which is DAI, not DIE. It's going to be very interesting. I feel like they're going to be doing some cool things with that. It is called Infinity Strash, and it comes out on the 28th of this month. It'll be interesting. I probably won't be playing it on day one, but there are so many games to play at the moment. It's crazy. And then Miyake came on, who's a board member, and he talks about the fact that they're releasing The Adventures of Dai, which is the new Dragon Quest game. But they also decided that this would be a great platform for them to announce more stuff coming to Xbox as well, because obviously, you know, that they've signed a partnership now and they're going to be trying to bring Octopath Traveler 2 to the Xbox. It'll probably enter into Game Pass, I think. But if you haven't played it on PC or PlayStation, this is definitely a game that I've streamed, and I definitely recommend it if you've played Octopath Traveler 1. It's a great series, 8 stories culminating in one massive story. Really good game, super fun, and they've done a really good job with it. Definitely recommend checking it out. But I would love to know more about what else they're bringing. I hope they bring more Final Fantasy stuff, like 7 Remake. And then there was another indie developer, and they showed off their game by Neo Doctrine, and it's definitely one that gave me vibes of like Zelda Althea, the Wrath of Itaria, or something what it's called. But they are, I think, Italian based, and the game looks pretty. It does look very interesting, and they talk about how their inspirations are like Japanese developers and movies and stuff like that. And the art design, whilst it doesn't look too great to me, I think it's that weird like semi-cel shaded kind of thing. It looks interesting, and it does seem like there's going to be a lot of puzzling, and it gives me Breath of the Wild vibes, and I feel that's good because it's got lots of puzzles and there's archery, and it looks interesting. I'll definitely be keeping my eye on this one, and I feel like it does have some unique selling points. I do like the way that you have this little fox character, and the movement system that they're showing off does look very interesting. So it's definitely one that I will be keeping an eye on. And they say that it's just coming soon, which isn't really a release date, but they felt like this was a nice point to make people aware of it. And I feel like that's not a bad thing, because just making people aware of a new game is definitely a good thing. It's called Atiri, the Wrath of Aetheri, and it's coming soon. That's all we know. And it's going to be on Xbox and PC. And then there's this game, which they rolled straight into very quickly. And this is the Night Market game, which is the Kitty Night Market game. I think it's called Maneko's Night Market. And this will be on Game Pass. It definitely does look like a game that I think will appeal to anyone who is a fan of like Stardew or stuff like that. It does have a different approach to the way that they've done it. It does seem like it's going to be kind of interesting. But I feel like there are going to be people who aren't going to vibe with this one, and it does look kind of interesting. So on the whole, I feel like this one could be very good for a lot of people, and it could be a very chill game to play. So I'm going to keep my eye on it. I may do do a stream on it, or I may play it and do a review for it. So keep an eye on the channel for that one. It's definitely one that I have my eye on. It's called Maneko's Night Market, and it releases October 26th, and it will be on Game Pass as well. And then they jumped straight into another Atlas thing. Obviously, you know, there's more than one Persona game. They are bringing Persona 3 Reload out soon, and it's basically Persona 3 remaster, and it's being brought forward to the new consoles. It's getting like improved visuals and higher frame rates, and they're adding extra content to it. There's loads of improvements that they've made, and the director there is talking about how what they've improved, and they're making the game better for people to enjoy it. And the cool thing about that is, if you've never played one of these games before, bringing a Persona game to the Xbox was unheard of until just recently, when they brought Persona 5 and stuff like that to the Xbox as well. And I thought that's great, and the fact that we now have that is awesome. And the fact that this is going to be on Game Pass as well, day one, is definitely one that will appeal to a lot of people who have fallen in love with the Persona franchise. I think the franchise is amazing, but there is so much to it. It's not a game that you're going to start lightly. It's got so much that is thrown into it. You have so much work to go into it, and it comes out February 2nd, 2024, and it will be a day one release on Game Pass, which is great for people who are trying to save money and are looking forward to trying it out before they buy it. And then the next one that they showed off was tied to Wolong. For those who don't know, Wolong was a game made by Koei Tecmo, and it's basically Dynasty Warriors Dark Souls is the best way to describe it, in my opinion. But this is the announcement of the first DLC, which they do have a season pass for it, and it's actually content that they have made after the game has released. It's not like it's DLC that was made when the game was originally made and then they just locked it behind a season pass. This has actually been content that has been made after the release of the game, and they've worked really hard on it, and it looks really, really interesting. If you are a fan of this franchise, I know a few people that might be interested in this one. I got stuck on Wolong fighting Lubu, and I haven't gone back to it because I've just had so many games that I didn't feel like it's a time sink I wanted to fall into. But it does look good. It's called Conqueror of Zhangjiang, and it's going to be on the season pass, and that is definitely something that I feel a few of my friends will definitely be interested in playing. And this will also be in collaboration with Lies of P. There'll be a weapon that comes out with that as well, and that will be out on the 27th. Also, Like of a Dragon Ishin will be available on Game Pass soon, and so will Like a Dragon Gaiden, the man who erased his name, which is on the 11th of the 9th apparently. That's going to be on Game Pass soon. And then it rolls straight into another game that I was super excited for, but kind of sad that it got delayed. And this one is Eden Chronicles 100 Heroes. Now, if you don't know the story behind Eden Chronicles, there are two games for it. You have Eden Chronicles Rising, which is the one that's been out for a while now, and that is a side-scrolling adventure platforming RPG. And it's really, really good. I've definitely played it all the way through. Absolutely love it. I only got a few achievements left to get on it, and I definitely recommend that game. But this one is Eden Chronicles 100 Heroes. Now, 100 Heroes is the game that I was first excited about. I didn't know about Rising, but I was focused on this one the most. Now, this one is the best way to describe it is it's made by the original creators of Suikoden, and it is the game that they always wanted to create. So it's like a spiritual successor to the Suikoden 1 and 2 franchise. Because there's loads of different Suikoden games now, or if you're in certain parts of America, you say it's Suikoden. And it's basically a game just like Suikoden that they wanted to create, and it's made by an independent team that was originally the creators of Suikoden. And it looks absolutely amazing. You can have up to 100 recruitable people within your party, and you run a 6-man team, 3 front, 3 back, and you can do special combination moves, and like you can get specific characters that you can run in your group, and they have a special team up moves and stuff like that. And it's going to be such an amazing game. I will be streaming this. I am going to play the absolute snot out of it, and it looks so good, and I can't wait for it to come out. They did delay it to next year, and whilst that happens from time to time, a delayed game is great eventually, but a rushed game is always bad, in my opinion. So yes, I am paraphrasing the Nintendo head for that, but it's definitely a true thing. For example, Cyberpunk, that got rushed out and it was absolutely terrible. Now, I'm excited for this game. Definitely will be streaming it. It will be on Game Pass day one, and it comes out next year. And they show off the release date here, and as it says right on screen here, it comes out the 23rd of the 4th, 2024. Super excited for that one. And then we jump into My Lovely Empress. My Lovely Empress is the third installment in a series by Game Changer Studio. They did My Lovely Daughter, and they also did My Lovely Wife. They're basically, the best way to describe it is they are slice of life builder games, like management games with a narrative and thought-provoking interaction between peoples and the emotions that they deal with. And it's definitely interesting. Whilst it's probably not the kind of management game that I would play, it definitely has a unique appeal, and I feel like this my Lovely Emperor one is more of a more of a akin to what I would expect from a management game, because you have resources and you have to make sure that you're appeasing the populace, and you have to weigh up the pros and cons of stuff. And it definitely does look interesting, and it's not going to be out anytime soon. It's probably going to have a 2024 release, but it does look cool with the fact that they've gone 3D with certain things, and they've created a depth to certain characters, like the yokai that you have on screen, and they look amazing. And I feel like that is definitely one that will appeal to some people. I do think that the creation that they've done with this game does definitely look very appealing, and it's definitely easy on the eye. It is a nice color palette, in my opinion. I do think some people who may struggle with this game would be dyslexic people, because there is a lot of reading. But it definitely does look awesome, and they do look like they've done a lot of work with it. And I feel like that is very cool that they've tried to develop a new way of creating more intrigue with the game, by instead of leaving it as a 2D game, they're taking it to 3D in certain aspects, like the character design as you're seeing on screen. It does look very cool, and I do feel like that is definitely a unique selling point for the game for people to add to it, and it does look very interesting. And as you can see, it says coming in 2024, so we'll be waiting for that one. It does look interesting. And they finish off with a game that I hadn't heard of. It's called Hotel Barcelona, and it is the best way to describe it, it's a parody of different murderers and stuff like that. Obviously certain characters are inspired by certain things, like Jacob there, he is inspired by the Jason Voorhees, and there are other murderers in Hotel Barcelona who are inspired by different things like Saw and Michael Myers and Freddy Krueger and stuff like that. And the way that they've done it looks very interesting. But the thing is, it's also a roguelite as well. So if you die during a run, you restart, and you have all of your items carry over, and then your past self will help you try and survive in the next one and in the next run. So it's definitely one that is an interesting take on that style, but it does look very interesting, and I definitely will be looking out for this one. It does look cool, and I feel like it's got some unique things about it that probably will be one that I will be watching out for and hopefully playing when it does release. But they haven't given a release date yet. They just says it's coming soon. They are working on it, and that's basically the best part of the event. That is all the good stuff that they announced. I cut out all of the talking from the talkie devs and stuff like that, and I think that they did a very good job of showing off some cool stuff at Tokyo Game Show. Let me know what you think in the comments. Sound off there. Like, comment, share, copy link, and all that stuff, guys. It really does help the channel grow. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Be safe, be well, have fun gaming, and I'll catch you then. Bye, guys.